Mister, talk to me for a sec.
I don't want any trouble, Angelica.
90s kids, hold on to your hats because Rugrats is getting a reboot. The iconic cartoon, which first began 30 years ago, has remained a fan favorite, even though the final episode aired all the way back in 2004. Apparently, over a decade's worth of episodes isn't enough to satisfy the millions of disappointed fans across the globe any longer, because Nickelodeon Animation Studio has announced that they will be releasing a reboot of the show. The original show still has thousands of avid aficionados, mostly kids who grew up in the 90s and watched the show religiously as it aired, so Nickelodeon will have some work to do to please these fans of the iconic show. In today's video, we're going to be going over everything you need to know about the Rugrats reboot. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the exciting new videos we post. First up, the original cast. Nickelodeon has said that they are very aware of the responsibility associated with remaking a show that is so important to so many people and will be putting a lot of thought into how to move forward both artfully and authentically. One of the ways that they are accomplishing this is to include the original cast members in the reboot, which is a fact that is incredibly exciting to loyal viewers. Producers have said that the distinctive voices of the characters were part of what made Rugrats family so enjoyable and recognizable, and that was a major part of their decision to have the original cast return. We can't wait to be able to hear the same voices that we came to know and love in the 90s on the big screen once again. Number 2, is there anyone new? Although many of the original cast will be returning, it would be hardly a reboot without some new faces, or in some cases, old faces with new voices. While beloved characters Tommy, Chucky, Angelica, Phil, Lil, and Susie will be returning with their original actors, Tony Hale will join the cast as the voice of Chucky's father, and Anna Klumsky and Timothy Simmons will voice Angelica's parents. Ashley Ray Spillers, Tommy Dewey, Natalie Morales, Nicole Byer, Omar Miller, and Michael McKean will also be joining the iconic original cast members. It also seems that Dill, Kimmy, and Kira are nowhere to be found. It will be exciting to see how this new cast takes on the enormous role of remaking something so famous. 3. Did the kids age? The timeline of the remake had some people wondering what will have happened to the children in the intervening years. After all, there have been 17 years in between the last episode and now. If modern rules and timelines apply, which they don't, the Rugrats would all be pushing 30 years old, if not more, and enjoying families and careers. However, purist fans don't need to worry, as it seems that the show virtually picks up right where the original left off. Fair warning though, there have been some minor updates as iPhones, smart TVs, and a lesbian Betty DeVille have all brought the show with them fully into the 21st century. The show likely updated the technology of the kids so that modern-day children will be able to enjoy the Rugrats living in the style of the world they know and love, leaving hardcore fans of the show to sit back, enjoy, and dream about the good old days. Number 4, new animation. Unsurprisingly, the endearing but simple graphics of the original show have to go. Although fans grew up on the bright colors and basic animations of the 90s version of Rugrats, the producers felt that their new modernized target audience of 21st century elementary kids might not appreciate the downgrade from the regularly scheduled programming. Instead, they opted for a bright and refreshed look of CGI animation, which gives the characters a totally new look while still remaining the same recognizable classic kids. And for old-timers who might miss the retro vibes of the original cartoon, think of it as a never-before-seen peek into the world of Rugrats, rendered in glorious computer-generated detail. Next up, there's going to be a movie. You heard that right. Not only is there going to be a rebooted version of the animated series, Paramount Plus has announced that they will also be dropping a full-length movie, much to the delight of fans who have been waiting around for almost 2 decades for some original Rugrats content. In even better news, you'll be able to catch it in theaters upon its release and finally view your favorite goofy children on the big screen again. While there have been 3 Rugrats movies that were released while the original show was airing, producers have announced that this newest release, which will be a live-action CGI hybrid, will be unlike any that we've ever seen before. What a tease! Now we absolutely can't wait to grab our popcorn and settle in to watch the newest installment. Number 6. What else is the same? We already know that the return of the original cast will provide the iconically recognized voices for your favorite characters, but what else will be the same in the updated version of the show? Interestingly, for a reboot, the answer is not much. Although the animation style does change, the classic music remains nearly identical, and the plots, pacing, and humor are incredibly reminiscent of the older version. Essentially, true fans who miss the days of Rugrats gone will be relieved to hear that watching the new episodes won't be that much different than watching a rerun of an episode that originally aired 2 decades ago. With some light refreshes to bring it up to speed with the more modern world, it's evident that producers worked very hard to keep the new Rugrats as true to its older self as they could. It will be as if nothing has changed at all. We can't wait. Number 7. When is it being released? The first question that eager fans had when they heard about their favorite childhood characters returning to the big screen was understandably, when can we watch it? Nickelodeon Animation Studio will be releasing the first of many installments on the Paramount Plus streaming service on Thursday, May 27th. The best news is that there will be at least 2 batches of episodes, and the first batch will drop all at once on the premiere date, rather than airing 1 episode at a time. What's more, there's going to be a whopping 26 episodes with the promise of more. That number just goes to show how popular the series is, as most new animated series are lucky to see 12 initial episodes. So get your subscription ready and your comfiest binge-watching clothes on, because you're going to need to spend the whole day catching up with some old friends. 8. What can we expect? Although we can't say for sure what adventures the tiny friends will experience in each episode, you'll have to watch the whole show in real time for that kind of information. Teasers released by Paramount Plus have showed that the first episode, a 1-hour premiere titled Second Time Around, will feature fan favorite Tommy and his friends, as well as some dinosaurs, as they go on an adventure to help Chucky after a little mishap brought on by an attempt of bravery. Basically, it seems like we can expect to see much of the same antics that fans came to know and love in the original show, but with a slightly updated twist. How refreshing. Number 9. The target audience. Obviously, the target audience for the original show airing on the Nickelodeon channel was children, and relatively young ones at that. The first Rugrats grew its immense fan base from the hordes of children and latchkey kids who grew up huddled around their TVs, waiting for their parents to come home, a generation that is now in their 30s, many with children of their own. Several fans wondered if the show would have aged up accordingly to appeal to the original audience, but the unfortunate answer to that question is not likely. At the end of the day, the show is an animated show about the adventures of babies and toddlers, and the producers catered it to target the kids of the kids who used to hurry home every day to catch the newest episodes. That doesn't mean that the older generations can't enjoy it though. Every new episode pays homage to the first run of Rugrats, and watching it will be like taking a trip down memory lane.
Now go get the frosted animal cookies out of the bag Aunt Dee Dee hides behind the Hanukkah stuff.
Where's that?
In the pantry.
And finally, is parental guidance suggested? While the parents who grew up watching Rugrats might be tempted to cuddle up with their kids and introduce them to their childhood, there are some elements that these parents might wish to be aware of before they turn their kids loose with the remote. First off, the babies are incredibly mischievous and rarely have parental supervision, an unrealistic reality in today's world, and one that might rank a conversation with your kiddos before continuing. Additionally, Angelica still plays the part of the bad guy, and meanness, name-calling, and bullying ensue. There are also a few instances of adult humor and content, which will likely go over most children's heads. For the most part, the show is harmless, and while some parents may wish to watch the first few episodes with their children, we expect that the newest generation of Rugrats aficionados will enjoy the newest installments as much as their parents. And that brings us to the end of our video. Thanks for watching.